Hello lovely, welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to be talking about my daughter Juno. So at birth Juno was diagnosed with hip dysplasia. We've been on a journey since then to correct her hips, and she was in a Pavlik harness for 3 months from the age of I think about 6 to 8 weeks, and she came out of it when she was about 13 or 14 weeks old. So I have done 2 other videos on this and they've both been really popular, and I've had a lot of other mothers and fathers in the same position sliding into my DMs, leaving comments. So I thought I would give you a 2-year update, and this one is really important because we've had some amazing news. So we recently went for my daughter Juno's 2-year checkup. Since having hip dysplasia, she's been having 6 monthly checks. So we went for her 2-year one because she's just turned 2. And at that appointment, she had the usual x-ray and the usual physical examination. And the doctor actually discharged us. He was so happy with her progress and the angles of her hip joints that we have been fully discharged. So I'm kind of filming this video because it's kind of the end of the story. It's the end of this hip dysplasia era for us. And yeah, how amazing. I'm so over the moon that we can kind of put the lid on it and put it to bed, and it's done. For Juno and for everyone, it's been, you know, it was quite tricky at the beginning when she was put in the Pavlik harness and kind of watching her develop and getting frustrated that she couldn't roll and she couldn't crawl because she was in the harness and all of those things. But it's totally paid off and it feels like such a distant memory now. And to be discharged at 2 years old is absolutely fantastic. So we are so over the moon and so thrilled for our lovely girl that she doesn't have to have those appointments anymore. Although she was a complete angel. So the 4 of us went because, I don't know, because we're a family. Oh, where were we? Yes, Juno had her most recent hip dysplasia checkup and she was just a superstar. I was quite worried actually because obviously the older that they get, the more kind of understanding they are of things being done to them. Like, for example, like the 1-year-old vaccinations, they're always the worst ones because they know kind of the concept of pain and what the needle's going to do, and it is really tough. And I kind of felt a little bit apprehensive going to that appointment thinking, oh, I don't know how she's going to cope with being kind of laid down for an x-ray and how she'll find the guy kind of manipulating her joints to see how she's doing. But she did amazing. Like, I couldn't go in because I had Rhea, so Phil took her in and just had to kind of undress her on the bottom half, and then she had to lay down and have the x-ray. And by the sounds of it, she passed with flying colours. She just laid there and was quite kind of taking everything in, I guess, and like a bit skeptical of the surroundings and kind of looking at the machine and just fully trusting in her daddy to look after her. And yeah, she did amazing. It was really good. And then in the appointment afterwards, the guy was kind of rolling her legs like in an outward motion like that, and she just found it quite funny. So yeah, she did absolutely brilliant. It was wonderful. And I'm just so thrilled that we can just close that book and it's done. And yeah, we've had that checkup. In terms of her development, she's continued to completely amaze us with how she uses her legs. She's running, skipping, jumping, bouncing. She is completely obsessed with trampolines, bouncy castles, anything that she can bounce on. So yeah, I think at the beginning of this journey, we were a little worried that it would, you know, take her longer to be able to do those things. We were warned actually by the doctors that they usually don't kind of crawl or walk until a little bit later on because they haven't had the opportunity to build the muscles up whilst they've been in the Pavlik harness. But Juno just kind of completely ignored all of that and just did it all anyway, super early and at her own pace. And yeah, she amazes us with her abilities all the time. Her running, her jumping, her skipping, everything. She's just fantastic. We haven't seen any kind of setbacks or anything. Every appointment that we've had has been brilliant, and she's completely signed off now. So thank you if you've joined us on this journey, and if your little one is on this journey as well, and you're somewhere in the midst of Pavlik harnesses and scans every 2 weeks and not being able to wash them and bathe them and all sorts. It is so emotional, and I totally understand how you feel, but I hope you see this as a bit of a light at the end of the tunnel, and that it does get better, and they do develop, and they do completely forget about it. Juno sees pictures of herself in the Pavlik harness and doesn't even ask what it is. She just doesn't care or know, and will never remember. It will just be something that we remember. I've actually weirdly, I don't know if it's weird or not, but I've kept her Pavlik harness in my little keepsakes box because I just want to remember that little part of her life. So yeah, if you're in the trenches and you're a new mother or father and your child has got hip dysplasia, then I stand with you and I completely understand how you feel. It does get better, and they do get better, and they will continue to surprise you with their abilities as they grow. And one day your little one will be signed off and discharged from the hip clinic as well. So yeah. That's what I wanted to just jump on today and say, that we are officially completely done with the hip clinic, and Juno is hip healthy. The doctor actually asked us if we wanted to take a picture of her scan, which we did, but I won't share it because you can see her little tiny bum in it. So I don't think that's very fair on her. But yeah, we've got a picture of that, and yeah, the journey is over. So my firstborn had hip dysplasia when she was born, and I think I can now say that she doesn't have it because the joints are completely healthy. So we no longer have any hip dysplasia. And I'm sure that will be your reality at some point too. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you next week for a weekly upload. Lots of love. Bye.